The next part here is, what is the coach's role in risk management? And I think, as I covered earlier, and majority of you saw with your results from the poll, was that the main responsibility we have as a coach is safety. Like, we need to make sure we're providing a safe environment for the athletes to train, to compete. And really, safety is not just, what happens there, but it's really the entire spectrum, from how we interact with those athletes, how we build them up, how we teach them the lifelong skills. All those things I think are such an important part of this process. But safety is our main responsibility. If we're coaching, we want our athletes to be safe at the end of this. And I think the other part that comes into this is, how can we minimize risk when we see it? And I think that's another key attribute of a coach, is being able to see situations and then be able to find ways to take steps to minimize the risk and the impact it could have on those athletes. So that's one of the things that we're looking at, which leads to another question here, which is, when should risk be assessed? When do we assess risk in situations? When do we sit down, or when do we take a look at this? And I think the one thing we're going to see here is, really, it's all the time. It happens before the session even starts. It happens during the session. While you're actively coaching, you should be assessing risk during that time, all the time. And then after the session gets done, there are some steps and some things that you can do to assess the risk and help minimize it in certain ways.